Let me just turn my camera on for a little bit. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, rise and shine, to a very early morning Education Committee meeting. My name is Deirdre Bartman, Chair of the committee. We are today dealing with the clause by clause on the Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill as sent to us by the NCOP. We already started on last Friday where we tabled all the respective submissions. Then we started with the clause by clause. We are now continuing at clause 19. I'm going to ask that the members just introduce themselves, and then I'm going to ask that just the respective departmental officials introduce themselves, and then we're going to jump straight into the presentation. But for the rest of the meeting, I'm just going to put my video back off. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everybody. My name is Christopher Fly, and I'm a member of this committee.
Morning.
Morning, everybody. My name is Conrad Poole. I'm a member of this committee.
Morning.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, everybody. My name is Ferdinand Christians, and I'm a member of this committee.
Morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, all members. I'm Pamela Harris, alternate member on the committee.
Morning, Member Harris. I just want to check, are you standing in for Member Syed?
I would assume that I'm doing that if it's not present until he arrives.
No problem. Thank you so much. Ms. Hassan Musa, I just want to check if you have any other apologies. Ms. Hassan Musa?
Chair, I haven't received apologies, Chair. I haven't received anything. It's only Member Harris that I was checking that she was joining in, but I see she's in.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much. If the officials from DBE can just quickly introduce themselves, please.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is James Ndlebe from the Department of Basic Education.
Morning.
Good morning, Honorable Chair, honorable members. My name is Riwan Mahada from Basic Education. Thank you.
Morning. Before I move over to the WCED, I do see one or two extra names from the DBE, but perhaps we are radios in the background this morning.
Chair, we are also joined by our Director General, Mr. Matanzi Mamueli. I know he's driving. He might be struggling to unmute, but he is in the meeting. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, then WCED.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Chair. I'm Advocate Lynn Coleridge-Sills, and I'm Director for Policy Coordination at the Western Cape Education Department. Thank you.
Morning. Okay. I think that's everyone. So we can, apologies. And then just from legal, from WCPP, I almost forgot.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, everyone. My name is Romeo Master. I'm legal advisor assisting this committee. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that covers us all. Colleagues, I'm not going to go through the full procedure of the clauses again. We all are familiar with it now. We're going to jump straight into clause 19. Are there any members that wish to put views and comments? Member Fry?
Thank you, Chair. I understand that the last time we spoke, we were just deliberating over the amount of time given for the appeal procedure for the SGBs. I propose that we actually amend the clause to read 30 days that the appeal procedure can take against an HOD's decision. I would say 30 days. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other views?
I second that proposal, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any other views? I'm happy with 30 days. Okay, if there are no views, then let me put to the amendment vote then. Members, are we in order then that we amend the appeal procedure date, that it goes from, that we take it from 14 days to 30 days in the amendment? Is almal nog aan die slaap?
No, I obviously I agree.
Support, Support, Chair.
Chair,
No
I'm
problem.
also going to leave it like that. Let's do it in 30 days. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Member Harris?
With my initial input since Friday, that we acceptable as it is with its amendments.
Okay, so Member Harris opposes the amendment. Okay, then I will now, and just for the record, I support the amendment. So let me now put the full clause with the amendment. Okay, members, are you supporting the full clause then with the amendment?
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, so then, and I'm also in support of the full clause with the amendment. So Ms. Hassan Musa, just for the record, it will read opposite then for Member Harris, then because she indicated she supports the original clause. Ms. Hassan Musa, you must just correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct, Chair.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Clause 19 is then concluded. Okay, so that's support with amendment. Then clause 20. Members?
Madam Chair, support with amendments with the inclusion of the VCED proposed amendment. Recommend additional provision to be added to the proposed amendment to provide for monitoring of compliance with this provision by districts.
Okay, so you're moving that we include the WCED proposed amendment. Okay.
Yes.
I saw Member Fry's hand.
No, sir. No, Chair. Thank you very much. I just second that. Thank you.
No problem. Any other views?
Chair, I also agree with that. Thank you.
No problem. I'm also in agreement with that. Member Harris has already indicated that she does not support any amendments to the bill, so hers would then be recorded as opposing the amendment. Okay, then I now put the full clause with the amendment. Sorry, Advocate Master.
Chairperson, you may appreciate that I left your meeting earlier on Friday, I think. I'm not aware or familiar, I haven't been informed as yet, though I haven't had sight of a proposed amendment. I have some views in respect of this clause. If the chair will indulge me to just share with me, maybe it includes my views. Otherwise, I will be at the risk of duplicating.
No problem.
So could I just maybe inquire what the amendments were, just briefly, or shall I just proceed and we take it from there?
So in the WCED document, there were proposed amendments from various stakeholders. So Member Poole has suggested that we take from the WCED submission. So if you open that one on your matrix, it will be called 2024-0131B2 2022 Final Consolidated Comments WCED Annexure A. Then if you go to page 28 of the submission, but if you're looking for the paginated number, it will probably be 29. Then you go to clause 20. Then the WCED is proposing at clause 20 that an additional provision be added to this proposed amendment to provide for the monitoring of compliance with this provision by the districts. So from my understanding, Member Poole just read in that we support the WCED comment and amendment.
Thanks so much for that. That certainly makes it clear to me. However, it doesn't include my view. I see that the clause is flighted on our screens now. Let me just maybe for purposes of inquiry, because I see that the colleagues from National are here. Chair, if we read clause the proposed substituted clause, in other words, 26(1) as it is there now. Then we read that a member must declare to the governing body any direct or indirect, and these are the operative words I want to focus the colleagues' attention on, may declare any direct or indirect personal, and financial interest that that member may have. Take note, that's almost like the introductory part of that clause. The member must declare any personal and financial interest. But then that clause, and this is where the drafters sort of introduces an ambiguity, in my view. It says those personal and financial interests include, and then it breaks down personal interest in an entity conducting business, a personal interest in a business or a commercial or financial entity or activity. And then it says in B, it first describes a personal interest, and then it describes a financial or other obligation. And in C, it says a gift, hospitality, sponsorship, etc. So if we should read that paragraph, in other words, direct or indirect personal and financial interest, then we are led to believe and accept that those personal and financial interests are to include, but I'm sure maybe not limited to the ones described in A, B, or C. Why I'm raising this is because there's the prospect, the very real possibility of a sanction if a member fails or refuses or neglects to declare. However, if we read clause 26.3, it says a governing body member must recuse him or herself and withdraw on an issue in which the member has a personal interest as contemplated in subsection 1. So inexplicably to me, subclause 3 only anticipates or contemplates a withdrawal in respect of a discussion pertaining to a personal interest. Yet the clause introduces itself at pains to make mention of a personal and financial interest. And it all, in fact, it dichotomizes what a personal interest may be, in as much as I agree, it's not limited to those, but deliberately, or I should say expressly, the clause does not refer to a financial interest or a gift or hospitality instance. So why this is critical is because in the future, it may be that the governing body took a decision and the parent member, very mindful of Bella, does not recuse herself from a discussion, and that member may raise a defense to say that, no, but a personal matter wasn't discussed. We discussed a financial matter, and it included a hospitality offer I got from one of the service providers. It wasn't a personal matter as described in the bill or in the act at that time. I raise this because when I read it, it allows for a interpretation. And so many people, so many interpretations. We need certainty, clarity, and a decisive provision to limit or remove possible ambiguity. It would have assisted if subclause 3, just as it is introduced in subclause 1, also said a member must recuse himself and withdraw in which the member has a personal and financial interest. Then it pulls everything together. So That's how I read it, unless the colleagues from National, who may have assisted in the drafting, can assist me. However, in as much as I'm saying that, I would propose that the words in the introductory paragraph there, the words personal and financial be removed, so that in clause 3, subclause 3, the word personal is also removed, so that the clause reads at the top in the introductory paragraph, any direct or indirect interest, including a personal interest, a financial obligation, a gift, etc. So that the interest is circumscribed to the extent that it is there now. And clause 3 will then read, in which the member has an interest as contemplated in sub 1. Then with my proposal, it pulls everything together. At the moment, you can only be forced or obliged to withdraw if a personal interest
Speaks about personal and financial, that the subsequent clauses 3 and 4 must also have the respective matters in it, essentially.
Chairperson, with respect, it's not technical, it's quite substantive, because there's a penalty or a sanction imposed on a member if he or she fails to withdraw. That member may legitimately not withdraw on the reading of the present draft.
Now, I completely understand the sub-clauses are substantive, but I'm talking about us making technical amendments so that it reads correctly.
Absolutely, I take that. Yes.
Mr. Ndlebe, are you amenable that we fix the clause as written for you?
It's beautifully put, Chairperson. We agree.
Okay, so then, colleagues, and there are 2 proposed amendments. The first amendment was proposed by Member Poole, that we include the WCED proposed amendment. The second amendment is then that I put to you that we fix the clauses 3 and 4 that only refer to personal interest, that it must either refer to personal and financial interest, or it must then take the word personal out and it must reference clause 1 at the top. Members?
Chair, I think that amendment is amenable to me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I think also, Chair, for me as well. It makes a better reading, and it also, Chair, I think what Advocate Marksburg also said, either we put in financial and personal interest, or we just put in interest and we take financial and personal out. I think
Yes.
that is also what he said. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So Advocate Master will write it for us in nice English in our report. Member Poole?
I'm okay with it, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm also happy with it, and just for the record, Member Harris has indicated not having any amendments. Member Harris, I just want to check. So you're opposed to the 2 respective amendments? I know it's a very tedious process, but I have to.
No. We do understand the tediousness of the process. And I have made myself clear that whatever amendments is being done. Yeah.
No problem. I then put the full clause now with the respective amendments. The amendments will include the WCED proposed amendment, and it will include the technical amendments to bring it in line with section 26(1) of SASSA. If I could have members' views.
I support the amendment, Chair.
Thank you.
Support, Madam Chair.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. Just for the record, I also support, so that will be 4 members in support with amendments and 1 opposed. Thank you. We are now at clause 21. Okay. Okay, members? Member Fry?
Chair, I support the clause.
Thank you.
Support,
Chair,
Madam Chair.
yeah, Chair, I also support as is. Thank you.
Thank you. I heard members Paul and Christians also support. For the record, I also support the clause. And member Harris also indicated her support previously. So that is clause 21 support. Thank you. We can go over to clause 22. Okay, member Fry.
Chair, clause 22. This is a bit problematic for me because I think there's an encroachment here on the legislative power in the provinces, and I think that regulations should be made by the relevant MEC. And I'm not talking about the Western Cape, but I'm talking about all provinces here. And therefore, I propose that this amendment be deleted. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other members?
Chair,
Support
I
member
agree.
Pride.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, member Poole.
I agree with member Pride, Chair.
Okay, thank you. I also agree that the clause should be deleted in its entirety. And just for the record, member Harris supports the clause. So members ours would then read oppose because we don't have amendments in it. Okay, perfect. We are at the next clause then. That was clause 22. Okay, clause 23. Member Fry.
Chair, thank you very much. I support this, but this clause. I just have an additional amendment, an amendment that would provide that a principal may not be a member of the disciplinary committee. Just that small amendment. Thank you, Chair.
No problem, members. Member Poole.
Support member Fried's proposal, Chair.
Thank you so much. Any other members?
Chair, I also support. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for the record, I support the amendment as well. Then for the record, it will then read for support. And member Harris has already indicated that she's not supporting any members. So that will then read oppose. I then now put the full clause with the amendment. Members?
Support, Chair.
Support,
Okay.
Chair.
Support, Chair.
Okay, I also support. So member Harris, yours will then read oppose because you oppose the clause having an amendment. Okay, clause 23 is concluded. Let me just have a look here. Just before we go on to clause 4, I see member Syed has joined the meeting. So just for the voting record, I just need to check if the voting is changing at the moment. Member Syed, welcome.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. No, the voting is not changing. Member Harris will still be the one voting because I'll be in and out. I've got other engagements as well. So, yeah.
Okay, no problem. I just want to make sure so that Ms. Hassan Musa doesn't shout at me a bit later when,
No.
when we
No,
put the
that's
voting
fine.
record together.
No,
Thank you.
that's fine. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, we're at clause 24 now. If I could have views. Member Fry.
Chair, support the clause.
Thank you.
Chair,
Any
I
other
also
members?
support. Yeah, I also support, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. For the record, I also support. So that is 5 members in support of clause 24. Thank you. We are at clause 25. Members?
Chair, I do not support the closure of public schools. I don't support that clause. It's clause 25. Thank you. Must be deleted.
So you want the full section 33 of the SASSA deleted?
No, the amendment.
Because
I want the amendment. The
you want
closure
the
of schools
amendment deleted.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, because if you delete the amendment, it doesn't delete the full clause in the act. It only deletes it in the bill. Okay, no problem. So you want the amendment in the bill deleted. Okay. Member Fry?
Chair, I support this clause, but with the amendment that came from the South African National Council for the Blind, that the substitution of Section 33 relating to the closure of public schools with reduced registered learners, that learners with special education needs require small classroom sizes of between 10 to maximum 20 learners per class. This, I think, should be taken into consideration when this on this clause. So I support with that amendment for the National Council of the Blind. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Any other members?
Chair, can I just throw in my...
Chair,
sorry, Member Poole,
I
go.
support Member Fry.
No problem. Let me quickly take Member Poole and then I'll take Member Christians again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I support Member Fry's proposal.
Thank you, Member Christians.
No, Chair, I just went through my notes. You're right. So I also don't support the bill and the act of the close of schools, because I see section 4 also talks about the close of schools under 30, fewer than 135. So I don't support the clause at all. It must be removed, the clause and in the act. Thank you.
Okay, just for the record, I support the clause with the amendments. My reason being that there's always been a provision for closure of schools, and that my understanding of this amendment is to amend things like factors and due notice and public hearings and having enough time to deal with the matters. To my knowledge and understanding of the Principal Act, there were already multiple factors that need to be taken into account before such a decision can be made, and that it is not a given that a school will be closed. And I support that we include the recommendation from the SA National Council of Blind that such factors for consideration be included with regards to learners with special needs. So we then have two different types of amendments. So the first amendment that essentially was put is that the factors include learners with special needs and those schools and those classrooms. The second proposed amendment that was then put was then by Member Christians, that we not only oppose the clause, but that the full section, which will read Section 33 of the SASSA Act, then be deleted. Members, can I just have your views quickly so that I can then get my ducks in a row for the full clause?
Chair supports suggestion 1 that deals with the special needs learners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I also support Mr. Fry's amendment.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Member Christians, I just want to check, because you want the whole clause deleted, we will then record opposed to the amendment here.
Yeah, Chair, I understand fully what has been said, but we know in the past we had a lot of problems with closing our schools. Although all the processes is put in place, I still are very uncomfortable. So I stick to my original where I said it must be deleted now in the amendment, and also the closure of public schools in the Act itself. Thank you.
No problem. So Member Christians will first be read opposed to amendment, and then Member Harris will also read opposed to amendment. So now I'm putting the full clause with the new amendment from the SA National Council of Blind. Members?
I support that.
Okay,
Opposed,
and then
Chair.
Member...
Opposed.
Okay, and then we're going to register Member Christians, Member Harris then as opposed. Thank you so much. Just write that down for myself as well. We are at clause 26. Thank you.
Chair, support clause 26.
Sure, yes, vinnig vir my. Okay, thank you. The birthday
This
boy
new
is
year
op
added to my
vandag.
life is made me much more like an Energizer bunny.
No problem. Okay, Member Poole.
I support 26, Chair.
No problem.
Yeah, Chair. I think when we had the discussion with basic education, they gave us quite the motivation for this. So I also support this. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Just for the record, I also support. So clause 26 is support by all members. Okay, then clause Advocate Master.
Chair.
Advocate Master. Sorry, I heard two voices now.
Yes, Chairperson, I did raise my hand unless you want to defer to the member, if you don't mind. Thank you.
No problem. Let me take Member Harris first quickly.
No, it's just to record that we support the clause.
Perfect. We did record it. No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Advocate Master.
Chair, in our initial briefing, I did raise the issue of the role of an MEC in this as opposed to the role of an HOD and how that is reflected in the bill and in particular in this clause. I do recall that Mr. Ndlebe had a view on that issue, and my sentiment and view at the time was that matters operational, matters financial, matters practical are best left at the door of an HOD, and that a political authority and a political accounting entity, such as an MBC, should not involve him or herself in the issue of loans, overdraft, leases, etc. There are more philosophical and substantively strategic issues for him or her to engage their capacity and brains with. So my understanding of how dynamics work, and departments in particular, especially executive departments like education, my understanding is that matters operational are best left for the attention and capacity of HODs. And if we take that as a premise, one can see it pulled through right through this bill. And in that regard, I refer members' attention to clauses 32.5, 34.6, and 36.2, where the HOD is the primary executive dealing with matters operational. And the MEC, or then the minister, is burdened with strategic and higher level issues. We need to be consistent in how the philosophy of accountability is pulled through in our legal instruments. And as lawmakers, I assume when we read bills, we are mindful, we remind ourselves of those kind of subtleties so that we don't have philosophical ambiguities and inconsistencies in lawmaking. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to check, Mr. Ndlebe, are you amenable for us to substitute MEC with HOD?
Yes, ma'am. We discussed this previously, and the legal service has indicated the same argument, which makes sense to us.
Okay, members, let me just quickly put the amendment first then. Members, are you happy with us substituting MEC for HOD just so that administratively it can read better, so that those who work with that admin deal with the admin and those who work not with admin don't deal with admin, essentially?
Yes, Chair. I think I now remember Advocate Marsdorp did raise that, and I'm fully supportive of that. Thank you.
Cool.
Support, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair, I'm amenable to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm in support of that. And then Member Harris, just to note that you also will then read opposed to the amendment.
Chairperson, given the fact that it has been discussed at a DPE level around it, that it should be submitted that the administrative processes is aligned with the head of administration, then I can't oppose that.
Okay, so you'll also be in support of the amendment then?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I put now the full clause with the amendment, members.
Support that, Chair.
Support, Chair.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. I'm also in support. Member Harris also indicated her support. Okay, so clause 27 is supported with the amendment. Okay. Then clause 28. Let me just have a look here.
Sorry, Chair. No, we did not do clause 27, Chair.
Oh, sorry, 27. Ek gaan nou vinnig deur die goed nou, sorry, 27. Member Fry?
Sorry, Chair, I just want to raise my hand so I don't jump the gun. I support with just the technical change to change directions with to the word directive. That's just a small correction there, Chair, but I support the clause. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also in
Any-
support. I'm also in support, Chair.
Support,
Okay,
Chair.
thank you.
Support. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm also in support. And just to check, Member Harris, you're still in support?
Yes, Chairperson.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Clause 28. Member Fry?
Chair, support the clause. Thank you.
Thank you. Other members?
Me
Support,
too,
Chair.
Chair.
Okay, I'm also in support. And Member Harris has also previously indicated her support. So 28 is then supported. Okay, then we get to clause 29. Okay. Members?
I'm in support of the clause, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
I also
Support,
support,
Chair.
Chair.
Okay, I'm also in support, and Member Harris has already indicated her support. So 29 is supported. We are now at 30. Members?
I support that amendment, Chair.
Thank you.
Also support it, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you.
I support as well, Chair.
Thank you, and I also support it. So at Member Harris has also indicated her support previously. So 30 is supported. Then 31.
Support the clause, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
I support as well, Chair.
Thank
Support,
you.
Chair. Support. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm also in support of the clause, and Member Harris has also previously indicated her support. So clause 31 is supported. We move to clause 32.
In support, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Poole.
I also support, Chair.
Thank you, Member Grishams. Birthday boy, are you still awake?
Yes, I'm still awake. Support the Chair. Thank you.
Okay, just for the record, I'm also in support, and then Member Harris has indicated her support. So 32 is supported. And clause 33.
The birthday boy will go first this time around. I support, Chair.
Okay.
Support, Chair.
In support, Chair.
Okay. Okay, I just want to add something. I think that when it comes to this provision, that the department just needs to also indicate the conditions that will relate as to how subsidies will be spent, the purpose for which the subsidy was spent, to include reporting on outcomes of the subsidy expenditure and related types of conditions. I think this is just needed just for a little bit tighter fiscal matters. Members, would you be okay with us adding that?
I'm okay
When
with
it
that, Chair.
comes to, okay. It's regard to how the independent schools then spend subsidies if they receive subsidies from government.
Support, Chair.
Okay. Other members?
Yeah, Chair, it's fine with me. Thank you.
No problem. Member Harris, just to check, so you would then be opposed to the amendment?
Chair, if we are talking about ensuring that there are fiscal guidelines to it to ensure proper accountability, indeed it will be supported.
Okay, so
if that is kind of vague within the current amendment as it stands.
Yeah, I'm essentially suggesting that if we're going to give someone a subsidy, the independent school must then indicate the condition, that the DBE must indicate how the subsidy should be spent, the purpose for which it should be spent, that they must be reporting
Absolutely.
on the outcomes of the subsidy expenditure and related types of conditions. But I'll just send that sentence to the procedural officer as well. Okay. Perfect. Can I then put the full clause with my proposed amendment?
Support, Chair.
Support,
you.
Chair.
Thank you.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. And the member has already indicated support. So then that is support with amendment. I must just remember to send that to PO as well. Perfect. Thank you. Then we are at clause 34. Yes, we are at clause. But didn't I just finish clause 33?
Yes, you did, Chair. We're on clause 34 now.
Nee, dan is ek verkeerd, my skat.
Ja,
en
Chair.
ondeeldraai. Ek is verkeerd.
Ja, Chair.
I think you were referring to
My
Actually,
notes on the subsidy is supposed to be for 34.
for 34
yes.
years. For 34
Yes,
and not for
34,
33.
yes.
Oh, Yella. Dis
We
hopelik
thought you were
maklik vir
34,
ons.
Chair.
Okay, let me redo that quickly. But in general, you guys are happy with the conditions. So let me quickly put clause 33 again separately, and then I will reread the condition parts that I've written down here for myself. Sorry for that. Okay, clause 33. So that I support that without amendment, clause 33. So I just want to check with everyone
Indeed.
else.
Me too,
Yes,
Chair.
Chair. Yes, Chair.
Okay. Okay,
Support, Chair.
perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hella. Okay, so that is then support. Then I refer you to the amendments I proposed a few seconds ago for clause 34 regarding conditions for subsidies. Okay, Member Harris? Or was it a legacy hand?
No, it's an old hand, the legacy hand.
No problem. Let me just put the hand down quickly. Okay, so I'm putting now the same amendment I moved previously, but I moved it on the wrong clause. So I'm moving it on the correct clause now on clause 34.
Support,
Yes,
Chair.
Thank you so much.
Support.
It's resolved, Chair.
Thank you so much. Okay, now I'm putting the full clause with the amendments that conditions for subsidies be added.
Support, Chair.
Thank
Support.
you. Thank you.
Support.
Thank you so much. Okay, the amendment with the clause with the amendment is then supported. Okay. Now we add clause 35. Okay, julle. Alle eentjies in 'n ry. Okay. 35. Okay, 35 is with the home education. Okay, cool. Members? Member Fry?
Cheers, thank you very much. I oppose this clause. I think that given the amount of input that we receive from the homeschooling community in the deliberations and the public participation, I think we need more proper consultation for this and research to be conducted before we approve this clause. That clause 51 subsection 16 might give the minister like almost unlimited power to regulate the home education, and I think that's a bit that's not so prudent, I think, Chair. So I would oppose this clause, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, just to add my bit, I think we've sat at, like Member Fry said, at the public hearings. At the moment, the homeschooling system is working. People are very happy with it. I don't even, yeah, maybe a person can ask for more consultation, but that the stakeholders, you know, come to have a greater input, because people were very unhappy with all the regulations. So I would think we oppose from my side, I oppose this amendment because you know, you want to break something that's working. You don't do it the other way around. So they want to break something that's working. So I don't support it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with Member Fry, but recommended an alternative clause read in by WCED substituting this clause. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so let me just get to my WCED submission quickly. So you want us to take the WCED substituted clause proposal. Okay, let me just get to that page. So just for Ms. Hassan Musa, that's on page 32 of the WCED proposal, which paginated is page 33. Let me just read it quickly. So the WCED's comment, okay, it's a very long comment at first, and then it says, the proposed subsection 3 potentially infringes the right to privacy protected by section 14 of the Constitution and the right to just administrative action provided by section 33 of the Constitution. Then they make the suggestion that the WCG recommends the insertions of new subsections 4 and 5 with the proposed new subsections which followed to be renumbered accordingly as follows. And then they propose 4. The head of department may not conduct a pre-registration home education site visit contemplated in subsection 3 before A, informing the parent in writing of his or her intention so to act and the reasons therefore. B, granting the parent a reasonable opportunity to make representations to him or her, which opportunity must include discussions relating to such intention. C, giving due consideration to any such representations received. And D, providing the parent with written reasons for his or her decision. Then the next subsection they propose is 5. In conducting a pre-registration home education site visit contemplated in subsection 3, the head of department must ensure that the collection and processing of personal information to verify the information supplied in the application documentation and to provide support where necessary is subject to the Protection of Personal Information Act, Act 4 of 2013. Okay, so members, if I could get your views then on Member Poole's recommendation that we include an amendment from WCED.
No, Chair, I don't support it. I don't support that amendment. I don't, it must not be changed. Thank you. Not even the amendment of WCED. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. I support the amendment from the WCED.
Okay, I also support the amendment. So let me just get my ducks in a row here. Member Harris.
Chair, we support the clause as it currently is reflected on the amendment of the bill.
Okay, so the amendment then will read supported but opposed by Christians and Harris. Okay, then for the full clause, I would like to propose that we oppose with amendment. Sorry, let me just, I see different hands here. Okay, Member Harris already went. Let me just lower that hand. Advocate Coldridge.
Thanks, Chairperson, for indulging me. Just above that page, we also, WCED also refers to an insertion at subsection 2 and then to provide for Roman numeral 4. So just 2 Roman numeral 4 on page 32 of the Annexure A, we're saying that this should be inserted. The proposed home education program will maintain standards that are not inferior to standards at comparable public schools or public educational institutions. Public schools would be apt in that regard. So, Chair, just I think you just omitted
Okay, so let me
to
just have
read
a look.
that. It's just above our comment that you read out in terms of suggestion.
So is that on
It's
page?
on page 32.
Oh, paginated 32, sorry. And
That's
then
right.
page 31. Okay, let me just read here quickly.
And then there's
Okay, so there's another
proposed-
proposal. Okay.
Yes.
Let me just
Thank
quickly
you,
read that in. Let me just quickly read that in. So at subsection 2 of clause 51 of the Act as being amended by nee, wacht eerder. So in clause 35, referring to the amendment of section 51, subsection 2 of the SASSA, the department is proposing at Roman numeral 4 that instead it's saying, let me just have a look here, Roman numeral 4, yes, that instead of saying that it must be not inferior to the standard determined in the national curriculum statement, it must say the proposed home education program will maintain standards that are not inferior to standards at comparable public education institutions, and then it continues. I just want to check, Advocate Coldridge, did I read that correctly now?
Yes, we proposing that as a new insertion, Chairperson.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Okay.
So as a new insertion to be a Roman numeral 4.
To be a
So
new,
we are proposing retain Roman numeral 3,
okay.
and we propose the new Roman numeral 4.
Okay, let me put that to the members quickly. Members, I put that amendment to you. You can also read it on page 31 of the WCED submission, which paginated is page 32. Members could give me an indication.
Agree, Chair.
Okay.
Agree, Chair.
Okay.
Chair, I of course don't agree. I propose that section 51 of SASSA stays the same. Thank you.
Okay, so that's in opposition then. Okay, then, okay, that's opposed, Christians Harris. Then I then put the full clause with the respective amendments as per the WCED submission, just so that I don't have to read it all out.
I oppose the clause with amendments, Chair.
Okay,
Support, Chair.
so you're supporting to oppose the clause with amendments. So essentially would be, we want this amendments, and if the NCOP doesn't give it to us, we're going to oppose the clause. I just want to make sure the ducks are in the row. Member Poole?
Sorry, Chair, I'm on 36 opposed.
Okay, no, it's fine. I know the different opposing and supporting and the different amendments are quite complicated. I also have to just recheck sometimes. Member Christians?
Yeah, Chair, I've given my view that it stay as is, section 51 stay as is with no amendments at all.
Okay, so we will then just write oppose at that, okay? And then Member Harris, yours will also then read oppose. Member Harris? I just want to check if I'm correct.
Yes,
in
Chair.
this regard.
Mine will.
Perfect.
Oh, yes, Chair. I support the clause as it currently is reflected in the amendment.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so the clause will read oppose with amendments, and the opposing members' names will also be noted. Thank you so much. Clause 36. Okay, this was, what was this now again? This was, okay. Okay, okay, Member Fry.
Yeah, support this this clause with the amendment that the MEC should also be empowered to call for information from schools. That's the slight amendment that I'd make. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much.
Support, Member Fry, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, I don't know, should that power rest with the HOD or the MEC? And I would think it should go because it's about parents against false, and maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I would support that rather goes to the HOD and not the MEC. Thank you.
Okay, let me just quickly check with Advocate Coldridge because I remember that being a suggestion from the WCED submission. Advocate Coldridge, I'm going to just quickly at the end of page 32, relating to paginated page 33, regarding clause 36, the WCED proposed that the MEC be able to call for information from schools. So do you want to check whether the WCED is amenable to changing it to HOD or if you prefer it at MEC?
Chairperson, we just want to include the MEC in this clause. As it stands now, the head of department or the Director General of the Department of Basic Education, in consultation with the head of department, may request information from schools. But there's no reference to the MEC because sometimes our MECs also require information from schools. So all we're requesting is an insertion that the MEC be empowered as well to request information. So the section may read, every school must provide such information about the school as is reasonably required by the MEC, head of department. So it's just an insertion.
There's an addition.
Correct.
Okay, so no powers are being taken away. It's
No,
increased.
no,
Okay.
it's just yes. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, members, with that taken into consideration, what are your views?
Chair, I'm happy with that. Thank you.
Okay, let me just quickly take Advocate Master's hand.
Chairperson, I just see a blurring of lines again, a straddling of capacities and responsibilities. The provision of information, there's lines and channels of that for that. One cannot have a situation where if an MEC wants information, then she or he communicates with a school in some rural village. Rather, if an MEC wants information about a school, she or he can talk to the HOD. That's an operational thing. I urge colleagues to be mindful of these nuance and subtleties when we deal with the architecture of lawmaking. An MEC is a political head. What is his or her role regarding information about a school? That would be undermining the role and communication responsibility of an HOD and his or her subordinates. Could it be explained to me why an MEC could override an HOD for information about a school? My colleague from education introduces her view by saying that everyone else is included, HOD, DG, but not the MEC. We want to include the MEC as well. That is baffling. And I would like for a motivation why an MEC should, just for the sake of it, be included, unless we are okay to blur lines, unless we are okay to override, undermine the role of an HOD. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Advocate Coldridge.
Thank you, Chairperson. This is just a duty to provide information. Sometimes in appeals, we require more information from schools. I'm talking about appeals to the MEC. And then the MEC has a duty to request certain information from schools. So this is also empowering and assisting the MEC in his or her functions. Furthermore, the MEC's office gets a lot of media queries relating to specific schools. And for the sake of expediency, it makes sense that the MEC's office can then directly request that information from a particular school. So really, it takes out all that red tape in a sense, and where the MEC is also empowered to request information, because it will not be a frivolous request. It will be a request with just cause. So I'm in your hands, Chairperson, but that is the reasoning behind that addition. Thank you.
Thank you. We have heard both sides now. I am aware of different appeals processes in the SASSA that needs to be dealt with by the MEC specifically and not the HOD. But this is now up to the members to decide which view they take, whether they want to include the word MEC there or not. Okay, members, I'm putting it to you now.
Chair, I will go with what Advocate as Coldridge has said. It makes sense, and what she has said, I support that view. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Chair, I support the views of the WCED as well.
Okay.
Support, Chair.
Okay, Member Harris.
Chairperson, we support the clause as it stands and as it reflects within the bill.
Okay, so you're in opposition to the amendment. So then let me just quickly read this out then for us, then how the clause with the amendment will stand. And just for the record, I'm happy to include the word MEC there because the clause does include the word reasonably required. And I am aware of other clauses where the MEC is required to deal with certain matters such as appeals. So the clause with amendment will then read, every school must provide such information about the school as is reasonably required by the MEC, comma, head of department, comma, or by the Director General of the Department of Basic Education in consultation with the head of department. Okay, and that's at lines 37 to 40. I put the clause now.
Support with amendment, eh? Is that what I say now, Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
I also support the amendment, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you so much. I also support the amendment, and Member Harris, I just want to make sure then you will then be recorded as oppose.
Yes, Chair.
So we add clause 37. 37 was, oh, the dispute resolution. Okay. Members?
Support the clause, Madam Chair.
Supported as well, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. And Member Harris has also indicated her support already. And I'm also in support of clause 37. Okay. We are at clause 38 now. Okay, members. Otherwise, I'll go first. Okay, I see a hand, Member Fry.
No, Chair, you can go first. It's fine. I'm just trying to get my notes here, so I can go. You can go, Sarang, Chair. Thank you.
No problem. I'm going to refer to the WCED submission on page 33 and 34, which paginated should be 34 and 35. And they've made comments regarding the particular clause and recommended that subclause 1B be substituted with the following subclause, and I'm just going to read it quickly. B, where a public school has taken out insurance and the school activity is an eventuality covered by the insurance policy, Roman numeral 1, the liability of the state is limited to the extent that the damage or loss has not been compensated in terms of the policy, and Roman numeral 2, if such damage or loss has not been compensated, the state shall be entitled, as against the school, to be indemnified or to the payment of a contribution to the extent that, and in the amount in which, the school is covered for such damage or loss in terms of such policy. So that's on pages 33 and 34 of the submission, which paginated is 34 and 35.
Yes, Chair, I support that.
Okay. Any other views?
I
Support,
support
Chair.
it as well, Chair.
Okay. So the amendment is in supported, and then Member Harris, yours will read oppose. I just want to confirm that.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Then let me now put the full clause for members. So because I made the amendment, I'll then start. If the amendment on clause 38 is not supported by the NCOP, I propose that we oppose the clause. So my suggestion is that it then reads oppose with amendment.
Oppose
agree
with
with that,
amendment.
Chair. Thank you.
Agree.
Okay, thank you so much. So Member Harris, yours will then read. Of nou moet ek my Engels lekker kry. It's opposed to the oppose with amendment. Ms. Assemusa, am I getting that correct?
Chair, say that again, please. I just
So
lost you
I
there.
propose that we oppose with amendment. 4 members are in support of my proposal. 1 is not in support. So would that then read not in support of the oppose with amendment, or opposed, but you will use the nice English?
I will do so.
Okay. Thank you. Let me just get that. Then we at clause 39. Let me just have a look here. What's clause? Oh, here we go. Okay. Clause 39, members.
Chair.
Yes, member
Clause
questions?
Clause 39 seeks to amend section 61 of that SASSA to empower the minister to promulgate regulations. We are against this amendment. I'm against this amendment, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm also in opposition to this amendment. I think this clause is way too vague, that it essentially gives blanket regulation to the minister. And there are other reasons that WCED, for example, has also put forward in their submission regarding potentially encroaching upon powers of provinces, and some of these matters even sometimes being more appropriately regulated at a provincial level. But my main principal reason is the clause is simply too vague.
Chair, I
Yes,
agree
member?
with you. I am opposed as well.
Thank you. Birthday boy?
Yes, yes, Chair, I agree. Something's wrong with my laptop here, but it's
No
waking you.
problem.
Thanks.
No,
Cheers.
no problem. Advocate Marstorp?
Yes, Chairperson, I think the committee is legitimately concerned about the apparent vagueness of this clause and the possible extensive latitude that is given to a minister or MEC when it comes to making regulations. I was fortunate enough to take note of the submissions by the WCED regarding the making of regulations and the powers that the minister and or MEC may have in that regard. That being said, as I said, I was fortunate to take sight of the WCED submission, and in particular, their reference to a case where the issue of regulations and a minister's latitude is concerned. Now, usually, when we have these kind of bills, or a bill, then it makes provision that the minister shall make regulations in respect of X. But that court case, and I'm sure my colleague Coleridge will elucidate more on this, that court case has empowered lawmakers when it comes to regulations, because that court case says that, wait a bit, a minister can't just make regulations. We, the lawmakers, must circumscribe the parameters within which that regulation or those regulations can and should be made. A minister can't just have plenary lawmaking powers outside of this process where we are. We own lawmaking, not the minister. So that case, it's, if I remember correctly, it's the Dawood case, which is very widely regarded as the primary reference when it comes to making regulations and the application of a discretion. That case says that we as lawmakers should circumscribe the parameters. So, for example, if we have an instance, as we do have here in 39, for example, in A, capital A, regulations regarding the management of learner pregnancy. Now, that's as wide as all the oceans, and that shouldn't be. The Dawood case says that we should circumscribe the parameters, words to that effect. So, for example, when it comes to learner pregnancy, we as lawmakers can say the minister may make regulations on the management of learner pregnancy insofar as ensuring the learner's physical and emotional well-being. Make a regulation about that. Or may make regulations regarding ensuring the learner's continued schooling. Make regulations regarding providing resources and emotional and other support to a learner and his or her parent or guardian. Or make regulations about capacity building at the school in order to deal with learner pregnancy. So I'm saying, Chair, it's easy, because we are lawmakers, it's easy to just say, this is too vague, we're not accepting it. Our responsibility is to say, you know what, this is vague, so let's tighten it up so that it is not vague anymore. And let's, as lawmakers, assist, ensure that the minister or MEC will make regulations, but only within the following parameters as we, as lawmakers, prescribe. It's easy to say this is vague, we don't support. Our responsibility is to say this is vague. Therefore, we propose the following tightening up provisions. Thank you, Chair. The Dawood case is critical in this. We can't, it will allow the minister to be arbitrary, to be open-ended. We as lawmakers must tighten that up. I stand to be corrected, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to bring the committee's attention to the fact that we did ask for the draft version of these regulations. And I'll take Mr. Ndlebe's hand in a bit. To my knowledge, and maybe I missed it in the hundreds of documentations and bulk information that we have, but we did not get what we asked for. So we do not even have what the minister may or may not bring into regulation. And my view on things such as regulation, and I see this in finance and budget quite frequently, we as a committee do not need to give the minister powers that they do not have. We don't need to. The minister has come, the minister has said, to provincial legislatures and the NCOP and the NA, please give me this power. The minister is not even trying to elaborate in this provision on what the powers are that they want. And when we asked for the draft document, we have not received it. And I think we actually asked for the draft document in the February meeting. I think it was that first or second week of February. It is the 15th of April. So if the minister is not able to, in 2 months, tell us what that draft document looks like, and we are not the first provincial parliament that sits with this bill, then I am not necessarily amenable to now all of a sudden thumbsuck regulations to give to a minister, to give them legislative power when they aren't even able to tell us what they may or may not try to achieve here. Just because you want to achieve something and me being able to see it in writing is two very different things. Mr. Ndlebe?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. I think the last statement from Mr. Masdok, I stand to be corrected. The truth of the matter is the minister doesn't make regulations. The minister may initiate that. That is the role of the lawmakers. An act, regulation, those are laws that are made by yourselves, not the minister. So what the request is to put an enabling provision for the beginning of the process, the initiator, then it becomes the minister to initiate them. So if you look at that clause, it is actually indicating a lot of gaps in the sector where there are no regulations, and it lists a lot of them, probably 6, 7 of them, which management of learner pregnancy, it's one of them. Now, if you listen to a lot of comments that come from the public, is that the minister must consult, the minister must work with stakeholders. That is the process of coming up with regulations. So if we're talking about management
Mr. Ndlebe, I need to stop you right there because I have the SASSA in my hand, and what you're saying now is not correct legally. I'm going to read to you what SASSA section 61 is saying because I don't want the public to be misled. The first line of SASSA in section 61 says, the minister may make regulations, and then it is A up until I, and then it starts with section 62. So in this bill, so now we're going to page 27 of the bill. Let me just get to my proper page 27. It then says, Clause 39 wants to amend section 61 of the SASSA, hereby amending by the insertion after paragraph A. Now, after paragraph A in the original act is after the minister may make regulations to provide for safety measures at public and independent schools. And then when you go back to the bill on page 20, where's this, 28, then what you have to do with the bill, you have to take that AA, AB, AC, AD, AE, AF, and essentially you want us to give permission, or we put that into the SASSA. So the minister does make regulation. Then in the subsection B, you want to then say any regulation made under subsection 1A and AB must before publication in the Gazette be tabled in Parliament. But nowhere there does it say that it comes back for approval by a Parliament. So I just need for everyone to be clear. Regulations, when you give regulation power to a minister, it does actually mean that you give the minister the power to write what they need to write in terms of a particular section. Advocate Maasdorp has suggested that we are able to tighten up the clause. My argument has been that it is not up to me to be nice and be like, here are all the 100 things that you can do. The minister is asking us for extra power. We have asked the minister for the draft document in February, a meeting in which you were in. We have not gotten the draft document from DBE or the minister or anyone, despite us saying, you know what, let us not make assumptions about what you mean. Give us the document. You have not given us the document. So given this information, what we are not here to try and interpret what the minister's intention is going to be if we can or cannot see it in legislation. I'm here to ask the members, are they satisfied with the amendment as it is, as it was sent to us, and what would they like to give the minister this power as per the amendment that was written in the bill and how it will affect Section 61 of SASSA. So we are at the process now where we've gone through weeks and months of all of the questions, all of the feedback, and we still have not gotten an answer. So it's the members' opportunity now to be like, you know what? We've heard the technical matters, we've heard the legal matters, we heard what the intention may or may not be, even though we've never gotten the document. So now it's the members' opportunity to say whether or not they agree that this is sufficient enough to give the minister this particular power. So that is where I am. Members, I'm going to move that this point has been sufficiently discussed and then ask whether I can now put the vote.
Yes, Chair, I do not support the amendment.
Thank you, Member Christians. Any other members?
I stick to my decision of opposing the clause.
Thank you, Member Paul.
Sorry, Chair, just got cut off there for a second. I oppose with amendments. I'll stick into my original input. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I also oppose Section 39. Member Harris?
Chairperson, I support the bill, the clause in the current amendment bill.
Thank you so much. So it will read 39 opposed. It will be the 4 members and will read Harris support. Thank you so much. We are now at clause 40. Clause 40, that was regarding the preamble, yes.
Chair, I
Okay,
support the
members?
clause.
Okay, thank you.
Support,
the
Chair.
clause as well.
Okay, I heard members Poole and Christians there. Member Harris, you're in support. And I'm also in support of this clause. Okay, we are at clause 41.
Support, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Poole.
I support, Chair.
Support,
Thank you,
Chair.
Member Fryer. Thank you, Member Christians. I'm also in support. Member Harris, you're also in support, so it will be reflected as support then. Okay. Clause 42.
Support,
I
Chair.
support, Chair.
Okay,
Support,
thank
Chair.
you. Thank you. I also support, and Member Harris indicated support, so the clause will read support then. Okay, let me just have a look here. Clause 44.
I think I'm 43 now, Chair. Are we in
43.
Yes.
43. Ek het eentjie geskip hierso. Dankie,
En-
Member Christians. 43.
In support, Madam Chair.
Support, Chair.
Thank you.
Support,
you.
Chair.
Thank you. I'm also in support of 43, and Member Harris also previously indicated as such. Then we are at 44. Just deletion of an obsolete reference. Yeah.
In support,
Okay.
in support, Chair.
Support 44.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. I'm also in support. Member Harris will also be recorded as support. Okay. 45.
Support, Chair.
Okay, members.
Chair, I oppose this one because I want clarity as to the reasoning behind this proposed amendment, please, Chair, if I may oppose it. Thank you.
Okay.
In support of Member Fryer, Chair.
Okay, I'm also happy to oppose this. I don't see a need for this clause. Okay, Member Harris, so you will then also be in support of the clause. So it will be 3 opposed,
Indeed,
2
Chair.
support.
Indeed.
Yes. Okay. Okay, so there was 3 opposed on 45, so that carried. Then we are at 46.
In support, Chair.
Okay,
In support, Chair.
In support, Chair.
okay. Okay, thank you. I'm also in support. And Member Harris will also then be noted as support. Then we are at 47.
Support, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Support, Chair.
Thank you.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. I'm also in support, and Member Harris will also be noted as support. Then we are at 48.
Support, Chair.
Thank you.
Support, Chair.
Thank you.
I support, Chair.
Thank you. I'm also in support. Member Harris will also be noted as support. Okay, then we are at 49. Just open my notes on 49. Okay, Member Fry.
Chair, I oppose this clause, and I'd like to make the following amendments: that the prohibition be confined to state employees, namely departmental posts as opposed to SGB posts, and then the provision made for educators who are state employees to submit application to be exempt, subject to necessary and appropriate safeguards. So the department should regulate their staff, and the SGBs must regulate those posts under their guidance. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so it's the division of who employs who essentially. Okay, members. Member Fry's moved
In
an
support
amendment.
of Member Fry, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Chair, I think it's fine. I think the amendment that Member Farmer is fine. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I'm also in support of us opposing with amendments, and my understanding this would also be in line with the WCED proposal in this regard. Okay, so let me just get my ducks here. So Member Harris, you would be in opposed to the amendment. And okay.
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair. We support the clause as it's currently captured.
Yeah, okay. So let me then now put the clause with amendment. So Member Fry has suggested that we oppose with amendment. So I'm now putting that.
Oppose with
Support,
amendments, Chair.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oppose
I heard
with-
both.
Oppose with amendment, Chair.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I heard everyone. And then I'm also then oppose with amendment. Okay, clause 50 then. Okay. We just have a look here. Member Fry, did I miss something?
No, Chair, I'm just opposing clause 50 because it potentially encroaches on the powers of the provinces. This is more appropriately determined at the provincial level. So I oppose that, Chair. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Members?
Oppose as well, Chair.
Okay.
Yes, Chair. I'm in agreement with Member Fry.
Okay, no problem. I'm also in opposition to this clause. So it will read 4 members opposed, and Member Harris, we will note to your support then. Clause 51.
In support,
Okay.
Chair.
Okay,
In support, Chair.
thank you.
In support, Chair.
Thank you. I'm also in support. Member Harris will also be noted as support. Okay, clause 52.
I
Support,
support,
Chair.
Chair.
Okay, thank you. I heard Members Poole and Fry there.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. I'm also in support of 52, and Member Harris's support will also be noted. Clause 53.
I support, Chair.
Thank you.
Support, Chair.
Yeah,
Thank
Chair, it's
you.
just a technical amendment. I support, Chair.
Okay, I also support, and Member Harris's support will also be included. Clause 54.
Support, Chair.
Short.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you.
Support, Chair.
Thank you. I'm also support of this clause, and Member Harris's support will also be included. That brings us to the end of the 54 clauses. Then, members, I'm going to open up now for comments on the bill in general before I put the full bill. I have things I would like to include regarding the financial matters, but these are all things I can always summarize now in the meeting and just send into the procedural officer. But members, I'm opening up for comments now. If none, then I can put the bill vote and then we can deal with what we want to put in the report.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Members, I'm putting the full bill to you now. Member Fry?
Chair, I propose that we do not support the bill, and I recommend that the bill be withdrawn. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Member Harris?
Comrade Chairperson, we as the ANC support the entire bill and the slight amendments that was given with the clear provisions of explanation to it where those amendments were affected. But we are supportive of the bill in its entirety.
Okay, Member Christians?
Chair, don't support and also ask that it be withdrawn. So I second Member Fry's proposal. Thank you.
No problem. Any other members?
I also support the proposal of Member Fry and the second of Members Christians.
Thank you so much. And for the record, I also oppose the bill and request that it be withdrawn. Okay, the votes have been put on the bill. Members, I'm going to ask if there's anything particular you would like us to include in the negotiating mandate report, other than what we have already now dealt with in the clauses. If none,
Nothing to add, Chair, from my side.
no problem. I want members to consider the following in terms of, and I'll also send this into the procedural officer. What we could do is we can just maybe ask that we do the report via email because we've already put the bill. But I would like to request from members that we include regarding effective regulation of online and blended learning. I think it's a missed opportunity to effectively regulate this space. This particular form of schooling is going to grow in popularity, and we need some more effective regulations. I do note that it was said that there are some consultations that are being done at the moment, but I do think this is a bit of a missed opportunity for us to include that at the moment. Then the second bit, I just want to quickly check, members, are you in order with that? That we include that in the report, or are there any objections?
Yes, Chair.
Fine with me, Chair.
Agree, Chair.
Okay. Then the second matter I want to include into the report on the bill, it's my belief that the bill fails to provide enough protection for learners that have to attend disciplinary hearings in the case of sexual abuse cases, where learners are often victims of adult sexual abuse. And my recommendation would be that that the department looks at the bill to provide for the protection of these learners.
Agree, Chair.
Support, Chair.
I support that, Chair.
Okay, thank you. There are no objections. Okay. Then my next matter I would like us to consider for inclusion relates to systemic issues. It is my view that the bill currently ignores lot of the real world issues in schools nationally. Particularly, some of the problems not addressed by this bill include matters such as dropouts, lack of resources in schools regarding teachers, classrooms, school, libraries, laboratories, ICT infrastructure. It fails to address safe infrastructure, and particularly with regard to things such as pit toilets, mud classrooms, dilapidated buildings, asbestos roofs, no water, and it also fails to address poor quality teaching, particularly where some teachers are not necessarily qualified to teach their respective subjects, and that the bill is silent on these matters. Members, how do you feel about
Support,
that?
Chair. Support, Chair.
Support,
I
Chair.
support that, Chair.
Thank you, support.
Okay, then in the submission from this SA National Council of the Blind, they've also indicated that there's not been provision made in the bill for learners with special needs regarding to textbook and education literature in accessible formats, and then they give examples. Provision of monitors during exams and extension of duration to complete the papers, provision of assistive devices per learner and the ability for learners to continue use of such devices where appropriate at their homes and in hostels to aid homework and school holiday projects, orientation and mobility training, provision for second chance matric opportunities for students with disabilities, provision for transportation of learners with special needs in liaison with the Department of Transport, particularly in rural areas. And they, in their submission, also mentioned the provision of blended online learning to utilize digital sound broadcasting mechanisms, including digital radio, where broadcasting of lessons is broadcast free of data costs. So that's from the submission of the SA National Council of the Blind that I would like to ask that we also include in our report.
Support, Chair.
Agree,
Support,
Chair.
Okay, then members, I'm not going to bore you with long financial matters because all of the information that I'm about to speak to is already in 3 presentations that were made by the FFC, by the DBE, and by the National Treasury. And that relates to the costing and the funding of this bill. But in short, essentially, it is my view that this bill is not substantively properly costed, that no funding commitment has been made for its implementation. There's currently no allocated budget for the intended implications of the bill, and that essentially would be irresponsible and irrational to agree to this bill, that even if we agreed in principle to every single matter, the financial strain and impact it would have on the fiscus would just make it irresponsible to agree to. And then essentially I would then ask, can we ask the procedural officer just to summarize those 3 presentations and the facts in the report as well, please.
Yes, Chair. I agree with that.
Support,
Agree,
Chair.
Chair. Support.
Okay, Ms. Hassan Musa. I will also send my proposal to you because we will do the report over email. Ms. Hassan Musa?
Hi, Chair. Yes, thank you for that. I welcome you providing me with that input. Chair, I just want to get the procedure correct. If I could share the report which the committee agreed to, and if you could read it out for approval, so that you read the standing rule as well as we had done on the 27th of March. When we
Okay,
did the first negotiating mandate, if that is in order, please.
that is in order. I just want to quickly put one more matter for the report, and then I will read out the report first. Members, and just because of the public participation timelines, I do consider that the public participation timeline that we received and I had to adhere to was quite restrictive. And while we have dealt with some of this in previous letters, and it will obviously be annexures in this matter, just the lack of responsiveness from the NCOP and sometimes non-responsiveness has been absolutely horrible, quite frankly. But I do think that the procedure officer just needs to put in our report the respective public procedure that we followed as a province, and our mechanisms that we followed, and also everything that we did in order to give the people of the Western Cape enough opportunity to be heard. Would members be in order for her to summarize a public participation section for us in the report in this regard?
Yes, Chair.
Yes, Chair.
Agree, Chair.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to just quickly read out, Ms. Hassan Musa, if you can put the report up. And what we'll do is with the extra information, we will then send that via email to members, just so that members are able to then also, with the extra information, just deal with that over email. But this will essentially then read as the top page, the first page, essentially. Okay. Committee report, negotiating mandate stage report on the Standing Committee on Education on the Basic Education Laws Bill B2B 2022, dated 15 April 2024, as follows. Standing Committee on Education, having considered the subject of the Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill, referred to it in terms of Standing Rule 217, confers on the Western Cape's delegation in the NCOP the authority to not support the bill. In accordance with Standing Rule 90, the African National Congress expressed its minority view to support the bill. The Western Cape Provincial Parliament Standing Committee formally requests that don't say note, I think you're supposed to say recommend, that the Western Cape Provincial Parliament Standing Committee on Education formally recommends the following. Because I had the same problem in budget, and then they threw stuff out because it wasn't the word that they wanted. So let's just get that wording correct. Recommends the following. And then the report would then be in it. It would then have the clause by clause, the proposed amendments, and also the general input matters. Okay, members, I put the report to you.
Chair, I move that the report be adopted.
Thank you.
Support, Chair.
I also
Thank you.
support. Second, thank you.
Thank you so much. The report is so adopted. Ms. Hassan Musa, I will send my comments that I've just summarized now for us. I'll send that to you. And then you must just give us a timeline for sending stuff to you and also for you to send stuff out to us.
Chair, thank you. I will do that this morning and make sure that all the inputs and amendments that were noted Friday and this morning be included in the report, and your additional comments at the end, and forwarded to all members today for approval, and then we will send it off.
And how much time do you need? I can send my inputs now to you. How much time will you need for putting it together?
At this stage, Chair, I'm going to need a couple of hours because I need to go through the amendments of Friday, but we are hoping to get it out to all members by 2 o'clock so that it is approved and sent to the NCOP Select Committee. It also needs to bypass Advocate Maastop for his input, if there are any input from his side, and then we'll send it off. But we are hoping for it to all be done and sent off today. No later.
Okay, so if you, okay, let me just get this timeline correct. So if you email us by 2 o'clock, should we then give members until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to read and say over email, approve?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, members, are you in order with those two timelines?
Thank you, Chair.
In order,
Yes,
Chair?
I agree, Chair.
Okay, perfect. Thank you
Okay,
so
Chair.
much. Thank you so much. Ms. Hassan Musa, before I conclude, is there anything I've missed in this regard?
No, Chair, we've covered everything regarding the negotiating mandate. The final mandate is on the 24th of April, needs to be submitted to the NCOP Select Committee. We will find a slot on the 23rd where the committee can come together to do the final mandate, as well as any outstanding minutes will be done on that day.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Members, this brings us to the substantive end of Bella on our desk. And I just want to say thank you so much for the level of participation on this legislation and for showing up for your respective communities. I really appreciate it. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Siraj.